Hi there, this is Ilise Benun, your marketing mentor. And this is the podcast for you if and only if you are ready to leave the feast or famine syndrome behind, and I mean for good. Early in the year, I mentioned that in addition to the interviews I love to do, I was going to do more solo episodes. Well, here it is October, and this is my second one of the year. I do have tons of ideas for them, so I guess I'll have to make more of an effort. We'll see. But in the meantime, here's one that answers a question I get very often. How exactly does one listen to the market? So listen and learn. How to actually listen to the market. You can talk and you can hear, but do you listen? I mean, really listen. Perhaps you've heard me talking about listening to the market, but people often ask, what exactly does that mean? So today I'm answering that question. First, to truly listen, we've got to ready our receptors. That means gearing our ears in two different ways. I want you to listen outwardly to hear what they say, whoever they are, as well as what's underneath what they may not be saying. Also, I want you to listen inwardly to hear your response to whatever is and isn't being said. Because the thing is that people will tell you a lot, but only if you're listening. They will reveal themselves. They will share more than you imagine, but only if you let them, and only if you listen. And this takes practice. Now, once your listening ears are tuned in, there are 6 things I want you to listen for. Number 1, first, listen for stories and story starters. People love to tell stories. In fact, humans have been telling stories since cave dwellers painted walls with them. In an interaction, there is usually a story at the ready. For example, I recently asked my massage therapist, why do you do this work? And she said, because my guardian suggested massage therapy. I could have said, that's great. But instead, because I heard the story under the surface, I said, what's a guardian? And I certainly learned a lot from there. So get curious. When your conversational counterpart opens a window, jump through. Listen for openings, which can often come in the form of a story waiting to be told. Or listen for clues and cues and words that allude to a story underneath. Take the bait. In my experience, it is always worth it. Number 2, I want you to listen for preferences. I was recently in Nashville at How Design Live, a big design conference, and I heard people saying things like, I love Nashville, or I really hate air conditioning, or I love frosted donuts, but not the ones with the cream inside. People will openly and passionately share their preferences about almost anything. And that is a great opening to ask, why? And there a conversation goes. Number 3, listen for plans. Focus on the future. A lot of information lives there. I like to ask, what's your plan? No matter what service you offer, this will open up all sorts of answers that you can dig in and ask about. Ask why. Here's another pointed question. Do you need help implementing your plan? That could be you or someone you know. You just might be talking to a prospect and not even know it until you ask about their plans. 4, listen for their pain. If someone is venting or ranting, which happens a lot, pull up a chair. You certainly want a front row seat. This is hero-making terrain. When someone divulges their pain points and their needs, you can quickly learn where someone, maybe you, can come in, swoop in, and solve their problems. So ask questions like, what's your biggest problem right now? Or have you ever worked with a fill in the blank, copywriter, designer, coach like me? What bugged you about it? Sometimes the pain isn't obvious, so listen too for inklings of pain as it may be hidden. 5, listen for what you can learn. Those are the things that others know, but you don't. I think too many people are too afraid of sounding stupid or uninformed, and they miss a huge opportunity. Even after more than my 60 years on this planet, even after learning a lot, I realize more and more how little I know in the grand scheme of things. And I do think that ignorance is one of my best assets. What could you understand better? What word or idea or concept? And why not ask, tell me more about that? Or what does that mean? Or what do you mean by that? In fact, I often start a conversation with a prospect by saying, pretend I know nothing and tell me everything about what you do. That takes a lot of pressure off of me and off of them. And finally, number 6, listen for what isn't being said, the subtext. Many of my clients are creative, so they have the natural gift of intuition. Maybe you too. If you hear a person or a prospect tiptoeing around an issue or saying a tiny something when you feel there's more, ask about it. You can say, I hear you saying this. Is there more to it? There usually is. It's okay to make a gentle assumption or share a personally related tidbit that will help provide some kind of comfort level for your partner to go deeper. Sometimes there does need to be an instigator to take a conversation from polite to real. Let that be you. So those are my 6 ideas, but in a recent office hours session for the Simplest Marketing Plan, I asked my community what they listen for. And here is some of what they said. Things related to someone's family or personal life. Strong emotions of any type, fear, excitement. Upcoming initiatives, a goal, a training, a conference. Blocks. When someone says, I don't have any time to do this, or this is so hard. Their why, what they're trying to accomplish in life on a deeper level, or things you have in common, or things about pets, or their body language, the things that are so obvious that you might not be hearing them. Their successes, especially when certain subsets of your market are doing better than others. Their content ideas, what they really need, repeated words or emotional or metaphorical words. The list goes on. But where do we go from here? I want you to continue on your journey towards ever more effective and deeper listening. You really can't listen well enough, in my opinion. So here are a few simple tips. First, take notes. This will set the foundation for your follow-up. This is how you're going to continue the conversation. What do you want to know more about? How can you help? It just may spark a deeper understanding that turns into something more down the road. Be patient. Don't be afraid not to know. Drop the not wanting to look stupid. It's really not serving you. And don't be too proud to ask, what's a guardian? Or why do you love frosted donuts? Or what does that mean? Approach conversations with a child's curiosity and ask why. And look at each exchange as a unique learning opportunity and a beautiful space to connect, because that is how you connect. And keep practicing. Be confident. Deep listening really isn't a skill that comes easily. It's built over time. And most people stop listening very early on in an exchange when they start to formulate their own response. Maybe you do that too. But don't be like most people. Don't prepare your response. Listen inwardly and simply trust yourself. Trust that the right response will be waiting for you when you need it. And if it isn't, you can always say, you've really given me something to think about, so thank you. So I hope that was helpful. I hope I've given you something to think about and that it's a bit clearer what I mean when I say listen to the market. So as a baby step, I would suggest simply observing yourself as you listen, watching yourself listening or trying to listen. And notice, when do you stop listening? Both to an other and to yourself. What can you learn about yourself in and from those moments? And what do you have to do differently in order to listen better and better and better? It might have something to do with focusing outward for longer and longer. So try it and let me know how it goes. And as always, If you want to build a thriving business on your own terms, the first step, if you haven't done it already, is to sign up for my quick tips at marketing-mentortips.com. Once you're on the site, you'll find lots more resources, including my simplest marketing program. So enjoy, and I'll see you next time.